Main Street in Blue Springs. And on the corner, there was a building that had a lot of character. I really liked the awnings, as well as the windows above, and the perspective on the side. Some great things to include when I'm doing my sketches. When you're looking for a building to sketch, make sure you find one that has a lot of fascinating details. We could actually call this technique wash and line, because we're going to start out with a very, very loose wash, using brighter colors. When I was observing that building, I noticed a lot of oranges and reds and blues. As I'm starting to paint, first of all, I have my paper tilted up so that the paint drips down. And I'm just basically going for some rectangles, the main shapes I'm seeing there, but I am not going to be picky about getting the color in the right place. I am going to start by using some lighter colors and then going towards some darker colors. I am also going to try and get the main part of the building painted and then go up and add some possible places where the windows might be and maybe the doors, but I'm not going to worry about if they're not shaped exactly like what I see. I just kind of want a shaded area that I can come around with my ink and show that window. It's going to be creating an underpainting. That underpainting creates a beautiful color that I can then take and draw on top of with my pen and ink. I also want to show you what my studio looks like in the inside of my car. With my GoPro camera there in front, I don't have very much room to work, but it was a lot of fun to sit there and paint inside the car while it was raining. I let it dry for a little while, probably about 10 minutes before I went ahead and started using my ink. Once again, the line is the most important part, and also looking for those characteristics that are going to really make this pop. For instance, the window that's above the door, the fanlight window that's above the door, and also the curve on the top of the windows, the frieze that's on top of the building, the pole that's next to the building. One thing I do not want you to do when you're doing this activity is to get out your pencil and start drawing with pencil first. Be observant, draw your lines carefully. Remember that this video is sped up so that it doesn't take quite so long to watch, but go slowly. Look at those characteristics of the building and see what you can add. Here's another specific thing that I want to make sure. This is a sign that's no longer there, but it comes out in perspective, because when I was looking at it, it kind of stuck out to one edge. And again, it just adds some interest. This building had some interesting brickwork on the side. I didn't want to go ahead and put all the details from that brick in, but I was able to put in a pattern to simplify it. Now I'm coming in with the awning. There are actually awnings over some of the other windows as well, but I wanted to keep it simple and make sure that this one was the one that people saw first. One thing that helps you when you're drawing with ink is you'll make a dot on the paper where you want to draw the line to. And so you can keep that line straighter by drawing in between the dots. look for patterns, look for similarities and things that are around each other. And this is how much I got done before it started pouring down rain, and I had to take everything back to my house and finish it in my studio. Once again, looking at some of the same things, I'm looking at the photograph to finish it up. And you can see how the color, it just kind of makes a nice undertone to the ink that's on top. Look at how that white contrasts with the red, and the white does not show where that window is. Be careful about sidewalks. Sometimes when people draw sidewalks, they draw them so that they look like they're on the side instead of very, very flat and in perspective. In this situation, you don't see very much of the sidewalk. That little porch that's on the corner there, however, I had to look at it very, very carefully to get it just like I wanted it for the corner. If there is a section that you're having a hard time drawing, get you a pencil out and sketch it in a sketchbook first or on a specific piece of paper, and that way you can get it a little bit better than just drawing it straight with ink. Coming in with bricks, watch the size of them and also watch how many you're putting in. The idea here is also just to give the impression that there are bricks on the side of this, and that whole thing is bricked. There was some writing on the side of the windows, and I just very, very lightly came in and did some of that just to show it was there. And this is the finished piece.